Welcome to Midweek Sports Special, where tonight we feature the Football League Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, the match with a place at Wembley at stake. And of course the winners there will meet Wolverhampton Wanderers, who won the other semi-final tonight, as you probably heard on News at 10. More of that a little later on. Tonight we shall also be talking to Laurie McMenemy, telling us about the reaction in Southampton today to that amazing Kevin Keegan news. And the Olympics starting shortly, an important press conference at Lake Placid in America, when the International Olympic Committee give their decision whether the Games will or will not be moved from Moscow this summer. We have a reporter at that conference. But first it's the League Cup. Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. The second leg so beautifully balanced because, of course, Forest went to Anfield tonight holding on to a one-goal lead after the first leg in Nottingham. A last-minute goal from the penalty spot by John Robertson. The perfect setup then. The pictures come from Granada Television. The commentator, Gerald Sinstaff.
Johnson, the First Division's leading scorer, fit again after injury, reclaims his place in the Liverpool side, even though his deputy David Fairclough scored a hat-trick on Saturday. There was a slight scare earlier today about Alan Kennedy, who showed one or two flu symptoms, but he's decided he'll be okay. So it's a full-strength Liverpool lineup then, with a defence that was beaten only by a last-minute penalty in the first leg at Nottingham. Graham Souness returns in midfield. He missed Saturday's match because of suspension. And this attacking partnership already has 36 goals to its credit this season. But that's the kind of challenge that brings out the best in Peter Shilton, as he showed with some superb saves in the first leg. John Robertson scored Forest's penalty that night, just as he scored the only goal from the spot when Forest beat Liverpool in the replayed final 2 years ago. Forest welcome Frankie Gray back to their defence tonight. He missed last Saturday's game. But with Trevor Francis injured and Stan Bowles ineligible, Forest have 18-year-old Gary Mills in midfield, and Martin O'Neill will partner Gary Birtles up front. And there could be no clearer indication of Liverpool's strength than to see David Fairclough, a hat-trick man on Saturday, taking his place on the substitutes bench. Also on that bench, just beside Steve Highway there, Sammy Lee, who was also a deputy star on Saturday. And referee Keith Hackett from Sheffield gives the signal, and away we go in the second leg of this League Cup semi-final. A clash of colours, so Forest changing to all yellow. It's the lighter strip for those of you watching in black and white. For Liverpool. So difficult to shake off the ball. Thompson, Souness. Dalglish and Johnson in the middle as Case crosses but behind. Jimmy Case. Phil Thompson, the Liverpool skipper. Clements for Liverpool. Lloyd and Dalglish, Gray. This is Neil. Throw, Birtles making himself available. So to his Bowyer. It's Birtles he goes for. Now Neil for Liverpool. Very tight down that left side. Forest work it out, but they don't find McGovern, and in goes Ray Kennedy. Lloyd's clearance has found only Dalglish. Mills got back and fouled him. Clumsy rather than malicious by young Gary Mills. A foul nonetheless. Three-man wall, maybe even four, to cover Shilton's right-hand upright. Wall just inquiring whether he wants the fourth man. and they've decided he does. Alan Kennedy Gray's header away. Neil, a complete miskick. It was an offside flag had gone up, so it's a Forest free kick. Have beaten Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Bristol City and West Ham to reach this semi-final. Anderson stretching out, but he's lost it to Souness. And Johnson laid just nicely onside there. Cross hit hard for Case. Couldn't meet it with the left foot. It was hit hard and low. And now Bowyer has policed it out for the corner. It was a good break by Johnson. And Case coming in fast. Couldn't meet it as it came over low and just behind him. Case's corner. Johnson in front of Shilton. Remembering perhaps that they created problems for Shilton in the FA Cup tie at Nottingham, which Liverpool won 2-0. Kennedy, Mills with determination, Birtles just ahead of him. Mills denied any room there, but he's still come past two men, the two Kennedys, McGovern. Hanson's tackle was good. Dalglish given too hard a pass. Lloyd. Birtles lost it to Souness. Neil. Dermot running right. It's looking for Dalglish, but it found Lloyd. O'Neill. Stretched by Ray Kennedy, and a second tackle by Souness. The ball with Mills. Hanson's header. McGovern now. Anderson. Robertson had made a run coming across from his normal left touchline, but Thompson had seen him. Case. Souness had made a run through the middle. Neil has the ball. Here's Souness dummying, and McDermott after it, but Shilton out fast with assistance from Anderson. There was a nice little dummy here by Souness as Neil plays the ball in, and then McDermott chases after it, but Shilton was out in time. Alan Kennedy up towards Dalglish, but Lloyd made the header. Mills to McGovern, Anderson. Birtles beaten to it. No, he's not. And he's gone past Thompson brilliantly. And he's got the shot away, but Clements just got fingertips down. Well, that's the most menacing break so far, made by Gary Birtles for Forest. Hanson, who didn't make the first tackle, Thompson was then left floundering, and it was just a fingertip from Clements that denied Birtles. There's the corner coming now. Lloyd and Burns, the two central defenders, in the area there as Clements goes up and catches very well. Good catch by Ray Clements. Hanson. Dalglish won't get there. Burns is able to turn it back. played it a bit casually, and Clements had to be very quick to deny Birtles again. Alan Kennedy, Lloyd. O'Neill controlled that well. Alan Kennedy got in again. Souness, beautifully done by Souness for Dalglish. Anderson made the check, and McGovern completed the clearance. Looked as though they'd got Dalglish free then, but Forest's defence held. Birtles. Neil, again well, past two men, but not the third, but then Hansen penalised for a foul. Midway through the first half, Burns with the free kick for Forest. Birtles' header chased in by O'Neill, and he's going to score. It's a penalty. For the second time in this League Cup semi-final, Ray Clements brings down his man, and the referee points to the spot. Very similar to the position from which Forest scored their penalty in the first leg. O'Neill wriggles round his man, Clements comes up to make the dive, and down he goes. That's a penalty, and Robertson is going to take it again. Scored against Clements 2 years ago in the League Cup final replay, scores again now. Puts it to Clements' left. Goalkeeper went the right way, but didn't make it. So it is now 2-0 after Mr. Hackett had decided that Clements had brought down his man. Hansen for Ray Kennedy. Header was glanced well, but it didn't really test Chilton. Hansen makes so much for Liverpool when he comes forward, and he clipped a beautiful one here for Kennedy's head, but it didn't get up quite high enough to trouble Chilton. Gray into touch with McDermott, threatening to burst through. Kennedy, a good one for Case. Tried to put it down for Neil. Now it's McDermott. O'Neill got in. Ray Kennedy. 5 in the middle. And it was Phil Neal who put it over on the body. Ray Kennedy crossing with the left foot. Phil Neal firmly under it on the volley with the left foot, but it crashes over Chilton's crossbar. Birtles, an enormous jump. Liverpool's throw. Souness ran into McDermott and ran into Bowyer, and the referee is calling Bowyer, no, he's calling Gray over, and Gray gets the yellow card. Case and McDermott out there for the free kick. Hit in low and hard, but cleared by McGovern. Neil retrieving. Forest moving out. Burns has stayed back, so they're onside. Burns has made the header, but only as far as Ray Kennedy, and he is wide. Liverpool now beginning to pour in the attacks, but they are not getting them on target. Ball driven across. Burns made the header, but it fell for Ray Kennedy's left foot, only to see it go wide. Thompson. Hansen. Alan Kennedy. 10 minutes from half-time. Forest leading 1-0 in this match and 2-0 on aggregate. But here's McDermott. No penalty. He slipped, says the referee. Mills a bad one. McDermott couldn't quite stretch out with Dalglish free in the middle. There's been a lot of work for Kenny Burns and his partner Larry Lloyd in the middle of the Forest defence. So far they've held out. Hansen. Ray Kennedy, McGovern. Mills giving it away to Neal. Tried to curve it inside him for Robertson. Hansen. Ray Kennedy. Thompson. Dalglish. McDermott. Liverpool are getting into the shooting positions, but they are not finding the target. One lofted, Burns and Dalglish up together. The knockdown comes to McDermott. The shot is pulled wide. Birtles turned it a bit hard and a bit too far in front of Robertson. Kennedy. Johnson. Neal. Dalglish. Thompson. Case. Again, they're forward in numbers of Liverpool. That looked like handball, but the referee says no again. He's given a free kick to Forest. Offside. He's booked Johnson. Johnson obviously must have said something about the appeal for a penalty that was turned down, and Mr. Hackett puts his name in the book. Matches between these two clubs. One long history of penalties and penalties decline. Souness has found McDermott, and McDermott headed away by Bowyer with Johnson waiting on the far post. Absolutely crucial interception there by Bowyer, as this is flicked across by McDermott. Bowyer prevents it getting to Johnson. Dalglish, a cunning corner, and Shilton fumbled it but escaped. Shilton is complaining, but the referee was unsympathetic. Dalglish, that's a good cross. Johnson missed it by inches. Taut and nervy game, with the penalty separating them here at Anfield just as it did at Nottingham. Minute from half-time as Ray Kennedy's header is met by Burns. Now Thompson. Neal. Dermot obstructed by Bowyer. There's a little bit 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, but I think that the final infringement was by Bowyer. Dermot takes it. And Lloyd nods it out. Alan Kennedy, Johnson chased by Anderson. Johnson didn't like the tackle either. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. And it's a throw-in which Johnson himself must take quickly. Burns meeting the header. O'Neill has lost it, it's a goal kick. So we must be very close to the whistle now. We've had 45 minutes, in fact, in this first half. Mr. Hackett has just consulted his watch. Looks at his second watch from his hip pocket, checks it with his wristwatch as Shilton takes the goal kick. And that is the end of the first half. And Nottingham Forest lead Liverpool by 1-0. Larry Lloyd doing some tremendous work in the middle of their defence, and John Robertson from the penalty spot, just as he did at Nottingham, gives Forest the lead. It's 1-0 at half-time. Join us again in a few moments for the second half. Welcome back to Anfield, where Nottingham Forest lead in this League Cup semi-final second leg, 2-0 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. The scorer, John Robertson, the only man who has played in all 24 games in the League Cup that Forest have played since they were last beaten in this competition. And it's Liverpool who kick off in the second half, now attacking the clock goal. Unbeaten here for more than 2 years, but needing more than just to salvage an unbeaten run here. They need 2 goals to force a replay. Alan Kennedy's throw in to Dalglish with Burns at his heels again. And Burns snakes out a long leg, then Anderson, Ray Kennedy, Forest throw. Anderson. Neil. Anderson driving it up towards Birtles. And Kennedy. To his right. Down went Dalglish, but he slipped, and the referee again is unsympathetic to penalty appeals. Mr. Hackett has denied a few tonight, and I suspect that Kenny Dalglish was just having a word with him there about his latest decision. Hansen, and Birtles backed into him, so it's a Liverpool free kick. Lloyd beaten in the air, but Gray was behind him. Birtles beats Hansen. Sets himself for another jump. Souness. But Dalglish running round, but Shilton had seen the danger. Anderson. With Anderson. The side that beat Liverpool 2 years ago, but missed last year's final. Dalglish. Angled in towards Johnson, but Bowyer got it away. Dalglish can try again, perhaps. This time through Souness. Maybe Thompson, number 4. Johnson. Liverpool are a side who are brought up to be patient, but the anxiety is beginning to show. Lloyd's header. Dalglish is onside and hits it into the side netting. And now the substitution is going to be made, and they're going to take off fullback Alan Kennedy and send on David Fairclough. It's all-out attack from here on. To live up to his super sub tag more than he does now. So often he's been thrown into games and asked to do exactly what they're looking for from him tonight, but maybe Johnson can. Good save by Shilton. That ball ran right through there with Johnson in pursuit, and it looked as though there might have been a goal to be had from it. Played through by Souness, and Johnson herring after it, but how fast and how bravely Shilton came up. And Neil's back header now chased by Birtles, Clements to bang it back up the other end. First touch for Fairclough. McDermott's back header. Dalglish, robbed by Bowyer, barely robbed. Case has dropped into the right back position, and Phil Neal has gone over to the left. Hansen, Neal, Dalglish met it, and Burns puts it out for the corner with Johnson lurking behind him. Burns has gobbled up almost everything through the middle tonight, and what he hasn't got, Larry Lloyd has. There was Lloyd. Birtles. Ray Kennedy. Dalglish. Souness. Kennedy. Neal. Fairclough. Miss kick. Still could come to something. Dalglish still cannot find the target. Fairclough, a missed kick here. Too far in front of Dalglish. Johnson goes back and gets the touch. Dalglish now lets go the shot. Misses the post by about 6 inches. Thompson. Gray to Roberts. Too far ahead of Birtles. 50,880, the gate at Anfield, and many of the Liverpool supporters looking a bit glum. Liverpool battling in pursuit of 3 honours, the Championship, the FA Cup, in which they played Bury on Saturday, but here in the League Cup now up against it. Bury players are all here watching the game tonight. Forest, of course, also have another string to their bow. They meet Dinamo Berlin in March in the European Cup. Hansen to Neal. Fairclough. Testing Anderson for speed. Free kick is given. Anderson matched Fairclough stride for stride, but he couldn't quite time the tackle. So now Neil will take the free kick. Hanson, Johnson, Fairclough, Ray Kennedy all poised to jump. It's Hanson who goes for it, and Robertson who clears. Case. Stopping play just to have a look at Alan Hansen, who was injured when he went up for the header following the free kick at the other end a minute ago. It's like a cut on the bridge of the nose. So they'll have to patch that up because Fairclough, the sub, is already on. The incident from which it occurred. Free kick taken by Phil Neal. Floated across here and Hansen goes up. And Lloyd with him. Oh yes, and the elbow came back across his face. It's a nasty nosebleed, but he really has no option but to soldier on. Throw then. Problem upon problem for Liverpool. Robertson. O'Neill. Stopped by Thompson. Too far. Yes, it's out of play. Hansen as the Cops start up a chorus. Midway through the second half. 1-0 here tonight to Nottingham Forest, 2-0 on aggregate. Birtles on the ball. Mills robbed. Ray Kennedy. Dalglish. Fairclough. Johnson and Lloyd wins it. Thundering challenge from Ray Kennedy. Kennedy, Hanson, Thompson. And a free kick is given for dangerous play just about on the penalty spot. So they will have to line virtually across the goal line in front of Shilton. Lloyd sticks his foot up to clear, almost into Dalglish's face. They will have to go back virtually onto the goal line. The ball is as near as can be on the penalty spot. But it is very difficult to score from this kind of position. The ball is not 10 yards back even. And they're threatening to break. And the wall held firm, deflecting Case's shot for the corner. It's very, very difficult to score from those. McDermott. A little way by Birtles, and he's chasing after it. That's another easy one for Peter Shilton. Spent a lot of the evening taking easy catches and watching shots whistle past his uprights. Birtles. Neil. Birtles was across there to challenge and win the throw-in. Liverpool. Oh dear, Ray Kennedy just putting it straight back out of play. Johnson. Well, Liverpool certainly haven't been playing at their best tonight. I'm sure Forest would claim that they haven't allowed them to play at their best. Johnson. It's a foul by Gray. Once again, Liverpool throw men forward into that penalty area. Shilton coming and making the punch. Birtles. Mills couldn't control it. Neil can turn it in there again, this time low to Dalglish. And he turns and crosses for Johnson. 9 times out of 10, David Johnson just gobbles those up. Dalglish turns here, crosses well, and Johnson may just have been offside there. Dalglish wriggling away from Burns for once. O'Neill, Birtles. Mills won't get on the end of that. Neil does. Kennedy. Neil again, and then O'Neill puts it out for a goal kick. Making his 200th consecutive appearance for Liverpool tonight, but not a happy occasion for him. Burns header. Lloyd, and then McGovern. Neil. Dalglish got the shot on target that time, but not hard enough to beat Shilton. Classically positioned on the edge of the 6-yard area. Oh yeah. O'Neill. Gray. Meant for Robertson, but didn't find him. Case. It's a good ball for McDermott. Good covering back by O'Neill. A lot of work he's got through unobtrusively tonight. Fairclough. Dermott. Header by Lloyd. Thompson. Burns again. Johnson coming to meet McDermott's throw. Pursued by Bowyer. David Johnson has hardly looked like the First Division's leading scorer tonight. referee has gone over to ask the steward to take off a yellow coat, which very obviously might confuse the linesman looking for offsides. Hanson, Case. Kennedy. Neal. Kennedy. It's O'Neill again up to Birtles. Kennedy. Souness and Kennedy now confusing each other. Neal. Dalglish. Neal. Ray's header down to Robertson. Fairclough shot. They thought there was a deflection, and there was. It's a corner. Can't get it out there fast enough. One goal wouldn't be enough for Liverpool. From somewhere they have to conjure two to take us into extra time. The foul on Shilton by Ray Kennedy. Brian Clough animated on the bench. Peter Taylor signalling a minute to go. O'Neill. Thompson to Neal. Neal. And now here's Fairclough through. 1-1. But is there time for it to matter? David Fairclough puts through the middle, puts the ball away with deadly efficiency to make it 1-1 on the night, but 2-1 on aggregate. 2-1 to Forest. May well be that Liverpool have done no more than salvage their long unbeaten run here at Anfield. But can they dramatically pull something out of the fire? Forest scored in the last 30 seconds on their own ground in the first leg. Showing no signs of checking his watch. That was handball though by Case, and then a foul on Robertson, who I think exaggerates. The referee says don't do it, and Robertson immediately stands up. We've played 2 minutes over the 45. Mr. Hackett looks at his watch. He's reaching for his hip pocket where he keeps his second watch, and there's the whistle. It's a 1-1 draw here tonight. Forest win 2-1 on aggregate. Peter Taylor and Brian Clough are on the pitch. And David Fairclough's late goal for Liverpool counts for nothing. Forest go to Wembley for their third successive League Cup final.
Well, some really stirring stuff there. And now we know it's a League Cup final at Wembley on March the 15th between Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that's a game that you'll be able to see on ITV that weekend. Welcome back to you. Just to confirm that Nottingham Forest have won the semi-final of the Football League Cup to be featured tonight, beating Liverpool on aggregate at Anfield, and now meet Wolves in the final at Wembley on March the 15th. Well, after that game at Anfield, Elton Wilsby spoke to the Liverpool defender Alan Kennedy, but first to John Robertson, who showed such coolness in hitting home that penalty for Forest tonight.
John, do you ever get nervous when you have to take penalties in such critical games and at such critical times?
Yeah, all the time. Every time I have to take one, I get nervous. I don't particularly enjoy it, but it's got to be done, so you just got to try and do your best.
What sort of things go through your mind when you're facing a keeper of Ray Clemens' stature?
Nothing, actually. Honestly, I haven't thought about things like that. Somebody reminded me after the game, it was at the Cop end as well, and I just never thought about things like that. All you think about is trying to get it in the net. That's a hard enough job.
You put it in the opposite side tonight, of course, didn't you?
Yeah, and he went the right way again, I think, didn't he? Well, you know, I'd missed one in Barcelona last week, and I stuck it where I normally put it. So I thought I'll just try and change it and hit it as hard as I could. Unfortunately, it went in.
Is victory all the more sweet over Liverpool?
Oh yeah, obviously they're if they're not the best side in the country, they're definitely in the top two. I would say we're one of the best as well. It's always nice to beat a great team like that.
Do you change your tactics for each game when you play them?
Not particularly. We just try and close down the midfield. There was one difference tonight. We tried to close down Phil Neal when he gets the ball and Alan Kennedy. You know, stop them getting the ball because our management think that a lot of their movements come from the full-backs, you see. So we try to cut their supply down a little bit.
And didn't you do that in the last two games you've played against them when there were two games that they basically controlled?
Well, we tried, but Liverpool don't always let you. You know, you can only do your best. They're such a good side. You just can only do your best against them. Fortunately tonight.
Alan, John Robertson said that the Forest tactics tonight would have pressed up on yourself and Phil Neal. Were you aware of that?
No, we didn't. No, to be honest, I don't think they did that. I think John Robertson at times did it to Phil Neal, but I don't think Gary Mills pushed that much on me. I seem to have a lot of room in the first half, and we hit long balls from the left back position to the inside left, but none of them seemed to come off. You know, we didn't do anything.
What's the mood like inside the Liverpool dressing room?
Very, very depressed after the game. You know, we knew we could have won this. To be honest, Liverpool played well for 90 minutes and we got one bad break and they got a penalty from it.
What did the manager say afterwards?
Not a lot. What can you say when you've played your heart out and you know, you don't get the breaks of football? We've never had the breaks against Nottingham Forest apart from the FA Cup, and then tonight and the other game at Nottingham. You know, it's a penalty in the last minute and another penalty there, and that's what did us.
What was the feeling about tonight's penalty?
To be honest, I didn't see it. Although I was only maybe 10 yards away, I followed the ball, and Alan went for the ball, missed it, and then Ray came out, missed the ball again, and caught the man. And the referee had no hesitation. And to be honest, none of the lads, you know, had any questions about it. So the referee must have been right.
Why do you think Forest pose you so many problems and so often as well?
Well, to be honest, they've got a lot of good players. A lot of Gary Birtles played very well. Martin O'Neill, they ran themselves daft tonight. They played very well against us lot. Even Gary Mills played well. They've got a lot of good players who work hard to get behind the ball, and they don't let Liverpool play. That's the way Brian Clough's got them.
And talking of Brian Clough, after the game he said, "I think it was our best performance ever against Liverpool. Tonight there was more to it than Indian signs. In the first half we were brilliant." And Bob Paisley of Liverpool said, "Forest didn't carve out two moves in both legs, yet they gained two penalties and went through." On one point you might be interested in, Forest are unbeaten in the League Cup since September 1976, and they've won the League Cup, of course, for the last two seasons. My word.